Hello, dear. Come in, sit down for a moment. Have you ever walked into someone's home and felt it before you even had a chance to look around? Not saw it, not heard it, but felt it. That moment when the air itself wraps around you like a warm blanket, and something deep inside you relaxes without permission. That is what I am talking about today. That is what I have spent 72 years learning how to create. I am 72 years old, and for as long as I can remember, people have stepped through my front door, taken a slow breath, and asked me the same question. They look around for the source. They check for expensive candles on the mantle or those automatic plug-in sprayers from the pharmacy. They check the kitchen to see if something is baking, and when they find none of those things, they turn to me with genuine curiosity and ask, "How does your house always smell this way?" The answer is not a product, not something you can order online or find on a store shelf. The answer is what my mother taught me, and what her mother taught her, refined and perfected over an entire lifetime of caring for a home with love and intention. It is a collection of small habits, quiet rituals, and old-school wisdom that works better than any chemical spray ever could. Today I am opening my notebook and sharing all 10 of them with you. So pour yourself something warm and let us begin. Secret number 1 is the simplest thing in the world, and it is also the one that most people forget completely. Let the fresh air in. Every single day, without exception. I do not care if it is raining outside or if the temperature has dropped below freezing. 5 to 10 minutes of open windows every morning is non-negotiable in my home. The air inside a closed house gets stale with remarkable speed. Cooking odors, sleep, pets, shoes brought in from outside, all of that living generates invisible particles and odors that accumulate and layer on top of each other until the atmosphere of your home becomes heavy without you even realizing it. The problem is that when you live with it gradually, you stop noticing. But visitors notice the moment they walk in. No perfume, no candle, and no spray can fix stale air. They can only cover it briefly before it resurfaces. The only real solution is to move the air completely. Every morning after I get up, I open the bedroom window first while I make the bed, then the kitchen window while I wipe down the counter. Even in the middle of winter, just a crack for 5 minutes. I think of it as letting the house exhale. The old, tired air leaves, and something fresh and alive takes its place. Your home will feel lighter, and every fragrance you add afterward will land on a clean, fresh foundation instead of sinking into a heavy, stagnant one. Secret number 2 is something I have used faithfully for over 40 years, and it still surprises people when I share it. White vinegar. I already see your expression. I know it does not sound glamorous. But trust me when I tell you that the women who kept the most beautiful smelling homes throughout history did not rely on pretty bottles with flower labels. They relied on things that actually worked. Here is the science, explained simply. Most household odors are caused by acidic or alkaline molecules floating in the air or sitting on surfaces. Vinegar is mildly acidic in a way that neutralizes both types of odor molecules, chemically breaking them apart rather than simply covering them with a more pleasant smell on top. I keep a small spray bottle in every room of my house, filled with equal parts white vinegar and water. I spray the countertops after every meal, Wipe the inside of the microwave, the bathroom sink, the shelves of the refrigerator, and the inside of the trash can. When I have cooked something with a powerful smell, like fish or cabbage, I place a shallow bowl of pure vinegar on the kitchen counter before I go to bed. In the morning, the smell is completely gone, and before you say it, the vinegar smell itself disappears within 20 minutes of application, completely. When it goes, it takes every other bad smell with it. An honest clean with no masking, no pretending, and no artificial fragrance left behind. Secret number 3 is the one that surprises people most, because it involves cleaning things that look perfectly fine. You know what absorbs odors more effectively than almost anything else in your home? Fabric, your curtains, your throw pillow covers, the soft blanket draped over the arm of your sofa, the cushion covers on your chairs. Most people clean their floors, counters, and bathrooms regularly, and that is important. But they completely forget that while they were cooking salmon last Tuesday, the curtains in the next room were quietly soaking up every molecule of that smell. Every time you close the windows, every time your dog settles into the sofa cushions, those fabrics are absorbing whatever is in the air. Over weeks and months, those smells settle in and stay. And because you cannot see the odor the way you can see a stain, you stop thinking about it. My rule is this: 4 times a year, when the season changes, I wash everything soft in the house. I take down the curtains, unzip the sofa cushion covers, gather all the decorative pillow covers and throw blankets, and wash them. I add a cup of white vinegar to the rinse cycle instead of fabric softener. Vinegar rinses the trapped odors out of the fabric fibers completely, without leaving behind an artificial fragrance of its own. What it leaves behind is clean, just clean. The day I finish those washes and rehang those curtains, my whole house smells different. Fresher, lighter, more open. Do not wait until the fabrics look dirty. Clean what your nose can smell even when your eyes cannot see it. Secret number 4 sounds almost too simple to be worth mentioning, but it is responsible for eliminating one of the most persistent household odors that people cannot quite identify. Wash your trash can. Not just take out the trash. Wash the can itself every week. Here's the truth about trash cans that nobody talks about. No matter how careful you are, things leak. A cracked eggshell, a container of leftover sauce, a piece of soft fruit. These liquids seep through the garbage bag and settle in the bottom of the bin, where they sit absorbing heat and building into a sour, invisible odor that radiates through your kitchen even when you have just put in a fresh bag and everything looks perfectly clean. That mysterious background smell in a kitchen that seems clean. 9 times out of 10, it is the trash can. My solution is to take my bin outside once a week, scrub it thoroughly with hot water, dish soap, and white vinegar, and let it air dry before I put in a fresh bag. I also place a single cotton ball with 2 drops of peppermint oil at the very bottom of the can, underneath the liner. Peppermint is a natural odor neutralizer that keeps the interior fresh between washings. This one habit alone will change the entire atmosphere of your kitchen. Secret number 5 is my favorite, and it is the first thing I do when I know someone is coming to visit. Forget air freshener sprays that sting the sinuses. My secret is the oldest air freshening method in the world, and it is called a simmer pot. I take a small saucepan, fill it halfway with water, and set it on the lowest heat on my stove. Then I add what nature provides: 2 cinnamon sticks, a small handful of whole cloves, the peeled rind of 1 orange, and a splash of pure vanilla extract. Within 10 minutes, my entire home changes. Every room fills with a warm, spiced, sweet fragrance that people always associate with something wonderful: a holiday, a grandmother's kitchen, a celebration. In the summer, I use lemon slices, fresh rosemary, and a few sprigs of thyme. In the spring, ginger slices with a handful of mint leaves. The ingredients cost almost nothing and last all day on the lowest heat setting, so long as you check the water level every few hours. You can also use a slow cooker set to low if you prefer to leave it unattended. What makes this method so special is not just the scent itself, but what it does to people. It connects them to memory, to warmth, to safety. It tells every person who walks through your door that someone here cares. Secret number 6 is one that most people postpone for far too long. Deep clean your carpets. Not vacuum them, deep clean them, at least twice a year. Carpets are extraordinarily good at holding odors trapped deep inside the fibers, far below the surface that your vacuum reaches. Pet dander, dust, the oils from bare feet, pollen tracked in from outside. All of it settles deep into the carpet pile and stays there indefinitely, quietly affecting the smell of your home in a way that is subtle but cumulative. You can have a spotless home in every other respect, and if your carpets have not been properly deep cleaned in 2 years, your home will carry a heaviness in the air that every visitor senses. My method for between professional cleanings is baking soda. I sprinkle it generously over the entire carpet, work it gently into the fibers with a soft brush, and let it sit for a full hour before vacuuming. The baking soda draws out the odors trapped in the pile and absorbs them completely. After this treatment, the carpet does not just smell cleaner, the entire room feels lighter. I do this once a month on my main carpets and rugs, and schedule a proper machine deep clean twice a year. Secret number 7 is something I keep in almost every room of my house, and it costs almost nothing: baking soda. Open boxes or small uncovered dishes, placed in quiet corners where nobody looks twice. Inside the refrigerator where it absorbs food odors before they have a chance to escape into the kitchen. At the bottom of the linen closet, near the shoes by the front door, tucked behind the toilet in the bathroom. Baking soda does not announce itself. It does not add a fragrance of its own. What it does is absorb and neutralize any odors that are present in the air around it, quietly and continuously, 24 hours a day. It is the invisible foundation of a fragrant home. Replace each dish or box every 4 to 6 weeks, and more often in high odor areas like the refrigerator or near pet beds. Think of it as your silent cleaning staff, working in the background while you sleep. Secret number 8 is about the hidden places in your home that nobody looks at, but that everyone's nose finds. Behind the toilet, under the refrigerator, inside the dishwasher filter, down the kitchen and bathroom drains, the rubber seal around the front-loading washing machine door. These are the hidden smell zones where organic material accumulates in the dark, away from routine cleaning, and builds into a persistent background odor that makes a home feel less than clean, even when everything visible is spotless. Once a month, I do a hidden zone sweep. I pour a cup of baking soda down every drain in the house, follow it with a cup of white vinegar, let it fizz for 5 minutes, then rinse with hot water. I unclip and rinse the dishwasher filter, which collects food particles and can become quite unpleasant if left unattended. I wipe the rubber seal of my washing machine with a vinegar cloth and leave the door open after every wash so the drum can dry completely. I pull the refrigerator slightly away from the wall and sweep up the dust underneath. These tasks take a total of perhaps 20 minutes once a month, and they eliminate the mysterious background odors that make people feel something is not quite right in a home they cannot otherwise fault. Secret number 9 is a lesson I have learned from seeing the opposite done badly. Fragrance should always be a whisper, never a shout. I have walked into homes where well-meaning people have lit 3 candles, plugged in 2 air fresheners, and sprayed the sofa cushions all in a single afternoon. The result is not a pleasant-smelling home. It is an overwhelming, competing, slightly headache-inducing wall of artificial scent that makes you want to escape to the outside air. Heavy fragrance is the signature of a house trying to cover something up, and experienced noses know it immediately. My rule for 72 years has been this: if a visitor notices the fragrance before they notice you, it is too much. A few drops of lavender essential oil in the mop bucket. A single drop of vanilla oil on a cotton ball placed behind a curtain. 1 lightly scented candle burned for an hour in the evening. These are whispers. They finish the story that the clean, well-tended home has already begun to tell. The scent of a beautiful home is not a layer applied on top of everything. It is the natural result of everything underneath. Secret number 10, and perhaps the most important of all, is this: a fragrant home is a routine, not a rescue operation. I have seen it so many times. Someone knows guests are arriving in an hour, and they rush through the house in a panic, lighting candles and spraying air freshener in every corner, hoping the cloud of artificial scent will cover the accumulated odors of 2 weeks of not attending to the details. It never truly works. The guests arrive and they smell both things, the freshener on top and the reality underneath. What creates a home that smells genuinely beautiful is the accumulation of daily habits so small that each one, taken individually, seems almost trivial. Not leaving dirty dishes in the sink overnight, shaking out the throw blanket on the sofa before bed, checking whether the trash needs to go out before it overflows, cracking the bedroom window for 5 minutes every morning, rinsing the kitchen drain once a week. None of these takes more than a few minutes, but done every day consistently, they build something extraordinary. A home that is genuinely, continuously, effortlessly fresh. A home that never needs to be rescued because it was never allowed to fall. That is the full list, dear. 10 secrets. Not one of them came from a store. Not one of them cost more than a few cents. Every single one was passed down to me from women who understood that caring for a home is an act of love. Love for yourself, for the people who live alongside you, and for the space that shelters you and holds all your memories. A home that smells of peace is a home that has been tended to with care every single day, in hundreds of small, quiet, invisible ways. I hope something here gave you a spark. Maybe one secret you had not thought of before, or a reminder of something your own mother used to do. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What is the one scent that makes you feel instantly at home? Mine is orange peel and cinnamon simmering on a cold morning. Tell me yours. Take care of your home, take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.